Hello everybody, this is thejonnymar and welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy VI Advance. I was going to go through the steps here and show you exactly how to do this extra little side quest should you choose to do it now. By looking at these letters and talking to the soldier, he will ask you to do things for him. And then you go over to the courier and you'll have to send something on behalf of the soldier, including things like a book or tonic, etc. You'll have to pay 500 Jill for each item. You then have to pass time. One way is to talk to this man here, who will show you the Serpent Trench. You can also sleep at the inn, or you can come up to the relic shop and talk to the relic owner. And by going into his menu and exiting out, you can actually cause the next letter to appear. Sleeping in this bed up here does not reset the cycle for some reason. You have to go through that process about 5 to 6 times to get the special item. Now, in the period between my two videos, I did get an extra green beret by fighting another satellite on the Veldt. I also got some new abilities for Gau and his rage. I got Templar, which allows me to use the Fira attack. I got Oversoul, which has the Will of the Wisps or Elfire attack. I got a Trillium, which allows me to use Biome. And I also got Ghost, which allows me to use Thundara. And that took me about a half hour to get just those 4, so that will give you an example of why I don't like to spend a ton of time building up Gau. He just is not worth the effort in my opinion, although I know other people would argue differently. So once you have Gau kind of outfitted to your liking, you need to continue south towards Crescent Mountain, which he described. So in battle here, I'll show you how to activate Rage. You just click on Rage and pick an attack. And now with each rage, as I mentioned in my last episode, you do have a 50-50 chance of using either a regular attack or the special ability for that rage. And you notice that Gau actually started flashing yellow, which means that some of the rages come with inherent abilities like Safe or Protect or Shell. And the Ghost ability actually gives you Float automatically. And while Gau's on the Veldt, he also will have that Leap ability. And that allows you again to learn abilities from your enemies. Now obviously there are people who know a lot more about Gau than I do, and so in the description I'm going to include some links to some FAQs that describe Gau's abilities and how to get them in a lot more depth. So please feel free to utilize those at your convenience. Considering I hardly use Gau, I really don't do much beyond this initial little bit of getting a couple abilities for him. So I'm going to heal up here and head into Crescent Mountain, where Gau said his shiny thing was. Or actually the shiny, 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 shiny thing. I'm guessing that means it's here somewhere. Yes, that's what I thought too, Sabin. Ugh. Gotta make it tough. Can't just tell us. Alright, well, let's look around and see if we can find it. There are actually a couple of automatic events in here that you can activate. The first is over here. Hey, did he find it? Ooh, a potion. I like how they wipe their heads there. Like, whoo, dodged a bullet. And then if you head up here to the left, another event. Although I would encourage you to skip this event, because what happens is Gau sneaks up on Sabin. Whoa. And you actually end up losing 500 Jill. The little rapscallion. Yes, we don't need another dance-off like we had before when we first found Gau. And I think that's it. I have heard that there might be another scene, but in my experience, I've never been able to find it. So let's see if we can find that shiny, shiny treasure. We'll head south here. And There it is. That must be the diving helmet that old man talked about in Mobliz. If we could use it. To breathe underwater. Now this always confused me slightly. And obviously with an RPG you're supposed to suspend your disbelief, but there was one diving helmet and 3 people in our party. So do we share it very quickly while we're swimming? Is one person in it and the rest on their back? Nice observation, Cyan. I'm not sure. And here, Sabin and Cyan again prove that they are real men by willing to jump into rapids. And I think Gau's little reaction there is a bit more appropriate for the situation. And he gets laughed at because of it. Poor Gau. Well, do you want to get left behind or do you want to come with us? Aw. Came with us. Alright. So we get this little Mode 7 effect as we traverse the Serpent Trench. You will get attacked by groups of enemies, and as you might expect, being in an underwater level, they are weak to lightning. Which is one of the reasons why I got the Ghost Rage. But I'm going to use Templar for the most part, because I like the auto protect effect, and Fira works out pretty well. Now, interestingly enough, the Serpent Trench is also one of the few places in the game where much, much later you can learn, small spoiler alert, Mog's Water Rondo dance by fighting enemies. So you're going to notice up here some arrows. You want to go to the right. If you go to the left, you will automatically continue towards your next town, which is Nikeah. But if you go to the right, you'll actually access a couple of caves with some items in. Now you want to watch out for those little guys in the upper left corner there, because they have a very nasty lightning counterattack. They don't use it all the time. Unfortunately, it isn't there, because it does, I think, around 150 to 200 damage to everybody. And here's our first cave. Grab the X potion and head out. And we'll swing around here. Hopefully you don't get motion sick very easy. And again, we're going to go to the right to explore another secret cave. This one's important. I mean, an X potion is nice, but the item we get in the next cave is very valuable for much, much more that we're going to be facing in the near future of the game. That should do it. And that should probably be our last battle. It's like, what are we doing here? Are we like arching ourselves up above the water or what? It's like the camera panned backwards. Alright, so in this cave, before you can get the item, you have to drain a pool down here to the left. So come to the right, there'll be a little switch, step on it, and then go through the opening at the bottom of the pool. And then traverse the rest of the cave to find the item. And I think I actually was supposed to go up. So let's head back. Head up these stairs. There it is. And bam, another green beret. So now all 3 of my party members have the green beret, which is pretty much the best helmet, as I've mentioned before, for much more of the near future. Head out the door here, and we should then end up at Nikeah. I love how we wash up on the dock and we're just laying there. So there's not a ton to do in Nikeah. You can do some shopping, but there is a little event here in the pub. If you talk to this dancer, she attempts to flirt with Cyan, who doesn't react very well to it. I call this one Humpty and this one Dumpty. Actually, I think she's a little too easy, Sabin. Ah, I see. So, Cyan goes on a rant here. In the original version, he talked about the fact that his wife had just died, and I think the humor they're kind of going for with this scene that kind of was a little bit too heavy, so I think the change is good. Now, this little boy here used to say, "You took one look at me and thought I was a loser, right? Now you're forced to buy from me," which was always a very interesting dialogue, I thought. Not much to get, just some relics. We've seen all of it before. We can get some armor. I like to get a silk robe because it improves magic. So I will use that with Celeste, who will be in my party soon. And I like to get a mithril spear for Edgar, even though I hardly ever regular attack with Edgar. I just like to be thorough. Head up to the inn, and as is most of the time when it comes to clocks in this game, you can get an elixir. And that's pretty much it for Nikeah. Or Nikeah. Now we just need to meet up with everyone else in Narshe. So head on to the south and get a ride on this boat. Obviously, if you want to shop more, you can select that other option. Interestingly enough, again, sailing from Nikeah is a way to get one of the new espers that are added to this game. But not until much, much later in the game. So hopefully everyone else arrives safely in Narshe. I think they did. A decisive battle. Wonder what that means. So it looks like they're trying to convince the Elder of Narshe to take action against the Empire. It's true. In any armed conflict, there is blood that's spilt. There's no way to get around it. Yeah. It might lead to a mistake being repeated. The War of the Magi. Or Magi. Humans desire power. The reunion of the brothers. And in my next episode, we will meet everyone else. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.